A lot of us fairy tale fans have been waiting for a while for this one, and it's happy now that we finally got the anime adaptation, first episode of Fairy Tail ZERØ. Now, you can also consider it as well part of the actual anime itself, since they kind of classified it as 91, but who gives a fuck? It's its own stuff. It's a spin-off series, like its own spin-off manga, which is a prequel to the actual Fairy Tail series. So, yeah, you've been told right there. So, technically, you can watch it if you want to, but then again, it is kind of canon, so if you want to know about Mavis and what kind of happened during her childhood, then there you go. So one thing I can definitely say before we get into more of the nitty-gritty that was like the enjoyable of like the ZERØ episode is that they decided to give us like 5 minutes of just like Natsu and Happy just dicking around, like just talking about like how they got back to Tenrojima, just walking around. And I got to say, like, it seems like this was like done at a different time from like ZERØ, because the art and animation for those first 5 minutes, especially on Natsu's face, looked incredibly derpy and looked really weird. So this was like a rush job that they did this last minute, these last 5 minutes, or like, you know, they just said, okay, well, this is something we had a while ago. Because like every part of like what we got with the Maven, with everything that was started in the flashback, when you could like cued into the opening, which that's down below as well, which I'll link in the descriptions where you can watch that. We do a live reaction to that, and just the opening was beautiful. Absolutely adore that. That is a great opening to have for like the new series. The ending, I absolutely adore that. Like, it's nice to have the fairy tale ending that I like, because a lot of the time I don't really care about the fairy tale endings. And seeing from all of this stuff that we got right now, it's like every part of it looked amazing. It actually felt like what fairy tale was supposed to be promised to us at the start, where there was like kind of like the original movie quality. It looked really great from what we saw of that. Like, honestly, like, astounding. But I do have to say, those first 5 minutes were kind of boring, kind of them just getting to the island saying, yeah, this is pretty much where we're training, which really does feel a lot like where, kind of like what happened to Luffy in like One Piece, where he just went to the island and trained up his haki, and just that's what happened to him. Like, it definitely felt like that as well, just them going around. But it was kind of nice that it showed that, you know, they were thinking about things, and this was like, you know, kind of what happened. And I'm really interested to see what they're going to be doing, if we're going to see any more of them during this stuff. Like, they might add that on, because they definitely added their own little panic bits to what we saw with like with Mavis. She's in a guild, and Red Lizard, they're pretty much a bunch of scumbags in there, making her a slave, like, even like being like forced to like clean like everywhere outside, not even allowed to wear any booze, like when she got, so it's just like, oh, you're taking them shits off right now, like you don't even deserve them, you piece of filth. And then when the actual leader of the place himself has got like a little daughter known as Zeta, or Zedia, there's like 2 different translations, so I just go with it. Like, he's like, oh, I love you, oh, by the way, I got you some new boots, and she's just there like, wanting to cry, and I feel so bad for like every time you see Mavis on the screen, but she's being happy and she's like playing with the animals, she's having fun. I'm like, oh no, I feel bad when anything bad happens to Mavis. And it's like interesting that basically she's just like was part of the guild, like her mom and dad weren't there at all for her, like they died, and it was just like, this is what she was. And she was incredibly smart. She was like, we saw that she did like some doodles and stuff everywhere, and that she has a real interest in reading books. So that's kind of where she kind of got the tactician stuff, like from the start of the series, that we can kind of see that already piecing that together, that she was already kind of very smart. She already knew how to think about things and like, you know, go around stuff, and she was kind of loved already. Like, even like Zeta, she had like kind of a bit of the jealousy already from what we saw there. When she even just went to deliver lunch, she just happened to have this little chipmunk thing on her arm. It's like, well, the girl started liking her, wanted to talk to her, and then Zeta had to be a bitch and just push her down and like say, get the fuck out of here. Which is really, you know, that was pretty much scumbag, because, you know, you had a little bit of competition just then, because your friends like wanted to talk to you instead of her, you know, and that's how she's always raised. And pretty much how that ends up then is then they get attacked by this other guild known as Blue Skull, which is absolutely just slaughter everyone. There's fire, brimstone area. They're just killing every member on the Tenrojima Island, and both Mavis and Zeta run straight out, and they're like really wishing, you know, oh, maybe we could be friends, maybe stuff. Like, she got like even crushed by under a rock as well. She's holding in there, and just that finale of that episode, you seeing like there, she's just laying on the ground for her. Although the opening, it spoiled a little few things for you about that and the preview. Although there's definitely some interesting twists and turns from that. I have read the manga. There was a bit like I remember skipping out on, but I've seen like the ending, and I've seen like that, and I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of surprises from this series. Like, it really doesn't expect where it's going to be going. Honestly, this was a great first episode. I did enjoy it. Was a little bit slow paced. I did notice that with the padding, and that's not even just including like the first 5 minutes of Natsu and Happy. There was a lot of padding. I feel like a lot of people, they're like, oh, I want to get straight into the action and all that. But it was very nice setup, I felt, and I definitely enjoyed it. And it's kind of just nice to get some nice new like fairy tale content. And I definitely noticed as well that they must have been working on this for a while, because Tara started to look a little bit rough around about the end, and not to mention the first 5 minutes of that. So I'm guessing is that they worked on this for a while, this Fairy Tail Zero, and that's pretty much probably where a lot of the budget's been going into, is doing this other little anime and making this look really nice and pretty for when it comes out. So definitely I'll give this a flat out 7 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to watching all this. We still don't know if it's just going to be 10, 11 episodes, because we haven't seen like Natsu and like Gildas in the opening. So for the anime like only fans, so that's kind of the interesting twist. So I'm wondering if they're going to be doing like some stuff that they didn't put in the like in the actual anime yet. Like, so I'm really kind of curious what they're going to do with that. But on that, that's all from me. Also, thank you so much for watching. As always, let me know what you think about Fairy Tail Zero in the comment sections, and I will catch you guys next time.